1,420.
In just
Thank
a
you,
second.
Fox Stats.
But first, Heat and Hawks and Cam Reddish going baseline dunking on Tyler Hero.
It's a good thing Cam Reddish can dunk because he can't shoot right now. He couldn't shoot at Duke, and he's at 0% in the NBA from three right now for the top 10.
Great-looking prospect on an exciting young team.
Yeah, absolutely. But scary moment for the Hawks last night, of course, as Trae Young hurts his ankle, but it looks like he's going to be okay.
All right, moving on, Lakers and Jazz, and LeBron James throwing Solomon Hill's layup off the backboard, which leads to a JaVale McGee alley-oop on the other end.
Come on, see.
JaVale McGee, man, he's really playing good. What are you talking about?
Oh, that's not the play, though. I mean, yeah, JaVale McGee, fine. But
yeah.
What's LeBron? The greatest ever, at the very least, the greatest ever what?
Oh, Giannis, him and Giannis, man. I got a small sample size. I got a small sample size with Giannis. Dwayne Wade, though, is way better, though, man.
Not at Chase down.
Way better, man.
Come on, man.
All right, more from this one. LeBron throwing Anthony Davis an alley-oop from half court. Anthony Davis bothered a little bit by that shoulder, so he doesn't. Just kind of lays it in there.
Yeah, Anthony Davis once again leaves the game during the game to have the shoulder looked at, then comes back, we'll talk more about this later, and is thoroughly dominant.
Yes.
Just utterly dominant in this game. This game was a one-point game midway through the third quarter, and the Lakers blow them out by almost 40.
Preseason college basketball, Michigan State, Albion, Spartans, forward, Aaron Henry driving down the lane, throwing down a one-handed tomahawk slam.
Oh, yeah, he's one of the stars for Coach Izzo, a friend of the show. Of course, they're going to be in competition for one of those Final Four spots.
See, your friend, Coach Izzo, was almost in tears last night. His son got in the game at the very end, hit a free throw. You see Izzo almost like welling up with pride on the sideline. Congrats to Coach.
Wilson Resort, book now at bestwestern.com. On Monday night, Chris Paul scored 15 points in his return to Houston as a member of the Thunder. Rockets played a tribute video which featured some familiar faces. Take a look.
We went to watch him play, and I hollered at him on the court, "Hey, Chris Paul, I need a picture after the game." He stopped what he was doing and was like, "I need a picture, too."
The things you hear about Chris Paul off the court are 100% accurate.
That's great.
Like, one of the NBA's really good guys.
How about that?
An all-timer, man. That was a really cool night.
Oh, I meant you have no hair.
You
meant.
I did have a shaved head.
But yeah, the Chris Paul thing.
That was a cool. Chris and I were there with our wives. My wife's favorite players, Chris Paul. Chris Carter hooked her up with.
Yeah, my wife is just there at the beach.
She's there. She's taking pictures.
Yeah,
she's
she ain't
saying
into
hello.
it. Yeah, she ain't into it like that. You know?
The Rockets are good to us, though. The Rockets have used us in their. Yeah, I'll reveal it. It's fine. This show's maybe been used in some free agent pitches. Things we've said about players and things. This show, they used us in the.
If we do say so ourselves.
So the Rockets been good to us. What up, C? Say something. Go ahead, say something. It's all right. I'll clean it up after.
The former Cy Young pitchers going up against each other tonight. On to the Lakers, and before last night's game against the Grizzlies, there were questions as to whether Anthony Davis would play due to tightness in his shoulder. Well, 40 points later, seems like the shoulder was okay. 20 rebounds as well, all in only 31 minutes of play. Lakers won by 29 points. See, how impressive was Anthony Davis last night?
He was amazing. And the free throw shooting is incredible. 26 out of 27. Yeah. For a big guy, if you foul him, he's one of the few guys in the league that can make you not only stack all those fouls against your defenders, but he's going to knock it down from the free throw line to be able to make them pay. That's why the combination, him and LeBron, because right now with LeBron being a ball-dominant player and AD can finish in the paint, he's got so many moves inside the lane that it's a great combination. Looking forward to seeing this relationship grow. And I'm glad that he pushed through that little shoulder injury that happened to him this weekend.
And listen, it's only been 4 games, but up to this point, LeBron is absolutely keeping his word that they want to feature Anthony Davis, that he's going to defer to Anthony Davis. LeBron's assist numbers and turnover numbers are up, and you can see it because he's trying maybe sometimes a little too hard to get AD involved. As far as what Anthony Davis did free throw-wise, he scored 40 points. He made 7 shots. That's only been done one other time in NBA history. So what he did at the free throw line, particularly in that third quarter when they blew this game open, is remarkable.
An artist, you have to leave him alone. You know what he'll bring to the table every night because he cares so much about the game. Now, it might not be how other people want him to care about it. He has his way of doing things. I respect who he is and what he does. He has all the intangibles you want in a teammate and a great player. So how he gets to the point to be ready for 7:30 every night, I'm supporting him 100%.
Just because of the volume of pass rushers that they have and the quality of pass rushers that they've had and the way that they've invested in those guys, not just through the draft but also free agency. So that makes it difficult. But Arizona's in a unique position with the quarterback that they have, that he can run the move the pocket plays. He can do things, whether it's dashes or bootlegs or any of those things to try to change it up so it's not a consistent pass rush for those guys. I think that Cliff has to incorporate a significant amount of screens, changing the cadence, going in and out of no huddle, trying to get them to not be able to substitute in the defensive linemen in the patterns that they want to. So if they allow San Francisco to operate the way that they want to operate, it's going to really be a big problem. If they force those defensive linemen into patterns that they're not used to and take advantage of what Kyler Murray does really well, which is run with the football and throw on the move, that to me gives them their best chance. And then I'd say on the flip side, you've got to turn this into a Jimmy Garoppolo game. He has almost as many interceptions as touchdowns, and he really hasn't proven that he can be the consistent guy that they hoped he'd be. And Arizona's got to force them to win the game that way.
Chris, you remember a couple years ago when it was the first year on the air, I think, when Minnesota and Jacksonville were in the conference championship games, their respective conferences, and we looked at the stat sheet at the end of the year, and in every defensive stat, they were 1-2, 2-1, 1-2, 2-1. That is what San Francisco and New England are so far this year. Like, pick the stat, any stat you can guess. One of them's going to be first, one of them's going to be second. We have talked much more about New England's defense, but San Francisco's defense, en route to, by the way, not shockingly, the only two undefeated teams, has been nearly, if not just as dominant, just not holding opponents less than a touchdown per game the way New England is defensively. The reason I think this is such a tough ask for Arizona, even though Kyler's been a little better than I thought he would be his rookie season, and Cliff Kingsbury has, to me, done a pretty damn good job as a rookie head coach, a guy who was fired in college, taking on all this responsibility, where they do not have resources or personnel as their offensive line, and where San Francisco has spent more resources than any team in football is their defensive line. And sometimes NFL games are complicated. Sometimes if there is one mismatch of big people that substantial, the game can start and end there. So I agree with you 100% that when San Francisco has the ball, you don't want them running down your throat. You want them passing, all of that. I don't know how much that will matter in this specific game, because the Niners, I don't know how you keep Kyler upright enough throughout this football game.
Yeah, I believe it's a mismatch, and I believe because of the short week, it will only enhance the mismatch, because what they do defensively is totally contrary to what Arizona and Cliff Kingsbury are trying to do. Cardinals, they've run 218 plays out of 4 receivers and 1 wide and 1 running back. Now that formation is almost becoming obsolete in the NFL. 218 plays. The rest of the NFL has run a combined 192 plays. The next closest team is New England with 43 plays. But they got Tom Brady, who's going to get out of those plays because those protections are compromised. How are they going to beat? It's impossible for them to beat San Francisco that way. The reason why is because if you have 5 offensive linemen with 4 wide receivers, you have 3 individual one-on-one matchups on that defensive line. And they got 5 first-round draft picks. And you talked about the offensive line in Arizona. They don't have that draft capital or free agent that they've spent on that offensive line. So he's going to have to somehow bring the formations in tight, play 1 tight end, play 2 tight ends. They don't have a running back that's healthy. They make the trade to Miami to be able to get that running back, but he's one-dimensional. He's typically a 3rd down running back. Kenyon Drake, he's not good at pass protection. So for me, this game could get ugly unless Cliff Kingsbury does something immediately early in the game to change how they've done business, Coach.
Yeah, if you're going to try to go head-to-head with your offensive line against their defensive line, you're going to lose. And to me, this has got to be perimeter-type battles. This has got to be changing the cadence. It's got to be changing the rhythm and flow of the game. So it's hurry up to the line of scrimmage, but then slow down. It's hard count. It's quick count. It's wide receiver screens. It's running back screens. It's move the pocket plays. Don't fight them in a phone booth. Don't fight them the way that they want to fight. You've got to use the athletic quarterback that you have to create space and to create some sort of matchups where you can win, as opposed to trying to go head to head.
I know from talking to you guys off the air, I don't think we've talked about it on the air, that you think if there is one place on the Niners where the defense can